When I'm working with people, the most common thing they'll think about is how nerves affect how they come over, how they speak, how they look. Now, experiencing nerves before getting in front of an audience, for example, is a completely normal and rational thing to do. Well, why is that? It's because we're animals. We keep thinking of ourselves as sophisticated beings, but underneath it all, we're animals. And we have animal reactions to what we perceive to be a threat. Now, why would an audience seem to be a threat? Well, if you think of animals roughly divided into two groups, there are the loners and the pack animals. Think of cats and dogs. Now, we're like the dogs, we're like the pack animals. So when we're sitting around talking to our friends in a group, we feel perfectly comfortable. As soon as we get out of that situation, we feel those eyes on us, hear the murmur of the audience. We're out of our comfort zone. Suddenly, our animal reactions are, ooh, this isn't a safe place to be. And that's where the animal reactions kick in. It's our subconscious doing it, of course. We don't necessarily consciously think this. But the body is already behaving in particular ways to protect us. Because our body's main interest in life is to help us survive, keep us alive. Now, it's rather interesting, but the different animal reactions to a perceived threat all begin with F. Fight, flight, and freeze. They're the three main ones. And by the way, we can be a combination of these as well. Now, flight is like birds or horses. They want to get away from the threat as quickly as possible. If you see a speaker exhibiting flight symptoms, it can look a bit like this. You see someone, they're moving about a bit. Sometimes they're getting in a bit of a rhythm. Hands are often flapping about a bit like that. Just a little bit at the side, a little bit of movement in the fingers. And that's all flight. Freeze, you sometimes see this where somebody is in the flow and then suddenly you sort of see them absolutely get rather still, because if they move they're going to die, so they'll only move their eyes and they're absolutely stuck. And the final one, and it's the one probably more of us experience than the others, is fight. We get ready to fight. We're primates, we're fighters. The center of gravity lowers, stomach muscles tighten, the chin comes down to protect the vulnerable area of the neck, the windpipe, jugular vein, and so on. Hackles rise to make us look more fierce and also to protect the neck. Fists start to clench, getting ready for the fight. What do I look like already? Now, at the same time, the body is producing a chemical called adrenaline. And adrenaline is a messenger to go to the different muscles in the body to tell some to take a back seat and others to get ready for the fight. Now, adrenaline, in order to get around your body quickly, well, it travels, as do most substances in the body, through the bloodstream. So the adrenaline is telling the heart to speed up, get me around to the muscles quickly. Heart will speed up, breath will shorten. Now, it can also go to the brain, adrenaline, and it's telling the brain, emergency situation. If you've ever had that sensation of forgetting everything when you're in front of an audience, mind going blank, this is what's happening. Adrenaline going to the brain, the conscious bit of the brain at the front being kind of overridden by the brainstem or reptilian brain at the back. And that kind of takes over and says, emergency situation, stop thinking useless thoughts that are not to do with survival. So if you've had that sensation, you'll know your mind's gone blank, your eyes feel enormous, like size of soup plates, ears the size of elephants, senses highly acute, but you can't even remember who you are. But it's normal, that's adrenaline. Now, there are lots of ways to counter this by relaxing the body and by breathing exercises, and we'll come to those on a later post.